This is where we bring you real news, real reactions, and the truth. Well, we all know there's been some breaking news over the night. Andy Burnham won the Makerfield by-election. And he didn't just win by a small margin. He won by a landslide. More than I actually thought he was going to win by. And I think more than Reform and Restore thought he was going to win by. So we're going to look at that. We've got some major news coming out of the EU Parliament to do with illegal migrants coming through Europe and to the UK, and how this could seriously affect the amount of migrants that cross the English Channel. We've got an update on that boy who was free, who was thrown into the crocodile enclosure, and there have been more protests and clashes with police in Oxford. So thank you to all of those who have joined today's stream. Please do comment in the comment section. I'll try and read as many as I can as we go through the stream. Looking at it then, Starmer now has a challenge on his hands. The civil war has started because Andy Burnham has won the Makerfield by-election, and we know that he's going to challenge for leadership over Keir Starmer. He wasn't just going into the Makerfield by-election just to become the MP of Makerfield. He wants to rid Starmer and then take the position. But I know a lot of people are not happy about this. They don't want Andy Burnham or Labour at all in power. They want a complete reset of politics. But here you can see how much Andy Burnham actually won by. So he got 54.8% of the vote, and Reform only got 39.5%. But Restore actually did as they were polling and what they thought they were going to do. They got 6.8%. So considering that they've only been around a few months, it's their first by-election, they did pretty well. Conservatives completely flopped out, Lib Dems and Greens as well, but the Greens didn't put much into it. We're going to have a look at a couple of responses from Keir Starmer himself, Andy Burnham, Rupert Lowe and Nigel Farage. But I'd love to know what your thoughts are on this in the comment section. I know everyone wants to get Starmer out, and I believe that's why the votes have turned out like this, because if they voted for Andy Burnham, considering Makerfield's a strong Labour area anyway, I think Labour have been in seat since 1983, they knew Andy was going to be a strong challenge for Keir Starmer's position. There's Elkans, there's Wes Streeting, but they don't have the backing that Andy Burnham does. So even though you all want Keir Starmer out, is it you just want Starmer out and Labour stay in and someone replaces him? Or do you just want Labour gone completely? Let's have a look at what Andy Burnham said about the win, and then we'll have a look at the others. Here we go. So Andy Burnham's response.
And this now is the change moment. We have an opportunity to turn the tide, to make the country feel like it's working again. I will be a member of Parliament for everybody, however they voted. I will work on a place first, not a party first basis, respecting how people voted. I know people who normally vote for the Conservatives, the Liberal Democrats, the Greens, perhaps voted Reform in May. I know they gave me their votes to give me that last chance to do something, and I respect them for doing that. And this now is the change moment. We have an opportunity to turn the tide, to make the country feel like it's working again. I will be a member of Parliament for everybody.
So there we go. There's he's saying he can make change happen. From everything I've read, it would be worse if Andy Burnham would be Prime Minister. There are talks though that he does want to increase the personal allowance, which means you would get taxed a little bit less on your income. He wants less privatisation of energy and water. But I don't think Labour have a chance anymore. Keir Starmer, to be honest, didn't say too much. Congratulations, Andy Burnham, Labour's new MP for Makerfield. Voters chose Labour's campaign of hope and optimism over division and hate. No, I think they just chose Andy Burnham over Keir Starmer, knowing that he could put a good challenge to him. I don't think Keir Starmer's actually wanted Andy Burnham to win that. Nigel Farage didn't take it too well, especially with Restore taking some votes off them, as they say. Let's have a look at what Nigel Farage has got to say.
Well, the Makerfield by-election was a dramatic, emphatic win for Andy Burnham, with a vote share that nobody could quite see coming. In many ways, he's a popular local mayor, just as Boris Johnson was a very popular mayor in London just a few years ago. But what really happened here is it was vote Burnham, get Starmer out, which of course was our campaign message leading up to the locals on the 7th of May. So we were slightly hoist with our own petard. As for the Reform vote share, well, I thought we'd get 18,000 votes. We got just shy of 16, so I'm disappointed by that, no question about it. But I would say this, there's a couple of thousand voters there who would normally have gone out and voted Reform that voted Restore. And I would say directly to them, what do you want? We are the challenger party to the left in this country. And I would urge you to think again. I really, really would. In Scotland, we were pleased to come second in Arbroath, but the Conservatives had a win in Aberdeen South. Well, good for them. There's an irony, though, that it was Jeremy Hunt's budget that destroyed investment in the North Sea. They've won, and I think what we'll see now is the Conservatives will have their pockets of strength around the country. But in the north of England, the Midlands, South Wales, many other areas, the Conservative vote now averages in by-election after by-election around about 2%. So Reform still is the big national party on the centre right. A disappointing morning, but we keep going.
Reform are the largest opposition at the minute. They're the majority opposition, but doesn't mean they are the right opposition. That's down to for you to vote. Anyway, I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, but a lot of you just see saying the same. Could Starmer call a snap election to make sure nobody in Labour gets the position? Starmer doesn't want that. Starmer said he's going to fight any challenge possible. This is where the war within Westminster starts, because Starmer said multiple times he's not going to step down, he's not going to resign, and he's going to fight and challenge anyone who goes for the position. That's Andy Burnham, that's Wes Streeting, that's Al Khan's, that's Reform, Restore. So this is now just going to cause massive issues within Westminster, and most probably just make even more of an issue around the UK and cause more carnage. But here's what Rupert Lowe's got to say. What Restore Britain has achieved is remarkable. We officially became a political party in March. It's June and we've just fought our first parliamentary by-election, third, thousands of votes in the face of the most vicious establishment onslaught. We had no infrastructure in Makerfield, no branch, nothing. The first branch meeting had to be turned into a campaign launch. We had never knocked on a single door or delivered a single leaflet in Makerfield. To call it a standing start is unfair. We were nowhere and we came from nowhere to achieve that impressive score. It took other parties years and years to do what we did in a few months. Very proud of the team, very proud of our candidate Rebecca, who I was delighted to support at the count late last night. One thing is clear, Restore Britain is now officially on the map. We're an established national political party. That must be reflected in fair media coverage, something distinctly lacking so far. More importantly, polls must start giving voters the option to choose us. The deliberate suppression of Restore support must end. We are here to stay. Yesterday's result will go down in history as the day Restore Britain announced itself on the national stage. Totally agree with that. When it comes to the Great Yarmouth votes, he was already established there. He was the MP. But for this, around the rest of the country, he had nothing. Restore Britain and Rupert Lowe had nothing. They got 6.8% of the vote. So there were people out supporting and voting them. So imagine what Restore Britain could now do over the next few years, ready for the 2029 general election. That's that then. That's what's going on in Westminster. It's going to continue now. Starmer is not going to resign. So it's now going to be a battle between Starmer, Andy Burnham, possibly Wes Streeting and Al Khan's. Are they going to get rid of Rachel Reeves and Lammy? No, more than likely not. It'd just be a change of Prime Minister. And my issue with this is what people haven't thought about, and some people may have, is it's just another unelected Prime Minister. We live in a democracy. You should have the right to vote for the people that speak for you and the ones that make decisions for you, your family, your friends, your colleagues, and the country. If Andy Burnham gets into power, he's just another unelected Prime Minister. It's just someone else that we haven't voted for, and that's just been the same old story for the last 10 years. It's not fair on the people, and it's not fair on Britain.